Hey, friend, I'm so glad you're here today. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome to Amen and Anchor, where we help women move from mission mode to steady mode with faith, hope, and practical encouragement for the midlife journey. Today, I want to talk about something I've heard from many women in midlife, and maybe you felt it too. It's that quiet thought, I don't feel like myself anymore. Maybe you look in the mirror and see changes you weren't expecting. Maybe your children don't need you in quite the same way anymore. Maybe your career has changed, your relationship have changed, your energy has changed, your priorities have changed. Maybe you're navigating menopause and wondering what in the world happened to the woman who used to have so much energy. Or maybe nothing dramatic has happened at all. You simply know something feels different. And sometimes the feeling turns into a much bigger question. Who am I now? Friend, if you ask yourself that question, I want you to hear something today. You haven't disappeared. You haven't lost everything that makes you, you. But you may have entered a season where some of the roles you've been used to define yourself are changing, and that can feel uncomfortable. For many years, we have described ourselves by what we did. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a caregiver, I'm a professional, I'm the dependable one, I'm the strong one. I'm the one everybody calls when something needs to be handled. Those roles can become such a big part of our identity, and when our life changes, we don't always know who we are without them. And that's one reason midlife can feel so unsettling. But here's something I've been thinking about. What if this season isn't asking you to go backward and find the woman you used to be? What if it's inviting you to discover the woman you are becoming? There's a difference. Because sometimes we say, I just want my old self back. But friend, the old you hasn't lived everything you've lived. She hasn't learned everything you've learned. She hasn't survived everything you've survived. She hasn't developed the wisdom you have today. So maybe the goal isn't to go backward. Maybe it's an invitation to go forward with everything you've learned. And I want to give you 3 gentle ways to begin doing that. First, get curious about yourself again. When was the last time you asked yourself, what do I enjoy? What brings me peace? What am I curious about? What would I like to learn? What makes me feel alive? Not what does everyone else need from me, not what I should be doing, just what matters to me in this season. You may not know the answers immediately, and that's okay. You don't have to. Just begin asking the questions. Second, notice what no longer fits. Sometimes rediscovering yourself isn't about adding something new. It's about recognizing what you've already released or ready to release. Maybe you tried of saying yes when you mean no. Maybe you maybe you're tired of trying to meet everybody else's expectations. Maybe you're carrying a responsibility that doesn't belong to you anymore. Maybe you're holding on to the old version of yourself because you think you're supposed to be her forever. Give yourself permission to ask, does this still fit who am I becoming? And if the answer is no, maybe you don't have to carry it into your next season. And third, reconnect with what grounds you. For me, faith is a big part of that. When everything around us is changing, our relationship with Jehovah can remind us that our value isn't based on our age, our appearance, our productivity, or the roles we perform for other people. Jehovah sees the whole person. And when you're uncertain about who you are becoming, prayer can become a beautiful place to bring those questions. You don't have to arrive with all the answers. You can simply say, Jehovah, help me with this season clearly. Help me use it well. And then give yourself time. Friend, Rediscovering yourself doesn't require some dramatic reinvention. You don't need completely new life. Sometimes it begins with something very small. Trying something you've always wanted to try, picking up an old hobby, taking a class, spending the afternoon alone without feeling guilty, changing your routine, writing in a journal, taking better care of your body, making room for something that brings you joy, or simply allowing yourself to dream again. And here's something else I want you to remember. You are allowed to surprise yourself. Maybe you'll discover interests you never knew you had. Maybe you'll realize something that mattered tremendously 10 years ago doesn't matter nearly as much anymore. Maybe you're discovering that what you want in life is quieter, simpler, more internal. Excuse me, more into in ugh. Oh goodness, more peaceful. And that's okay. Because steady mode isn't about becoming less of yourself, it's about becoming more internal about how you live. And perhaps that's one of the gifts in midlife. You begin realizing that we don't have to spend the rest of our lives proving who we are. We simply live it. So if you begin thinking, I've lost myself, I want you to try changing those words. Instead of saying, I've lost myself, try saying, I'm getting to know myself again. Because those two sentences feel very different. One sounds like an ending, and the other sounds like a beginning. And friend, I believe this can be a beginning. You are not too late. And it's not too late. You're simply becoming. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today. I truly hope this conversation encouraged your heart and reminded you that wherever you are in your midlife journey, you are not alone. If this episode blessed you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with another woman who needs a little encouragement today. And if you want extra support, I've created a free guide called From Mission Mode to Steady Mode to help you take your first gentle step toward feeling calmer, stronger, and more anchored in this season of life. Simply comment anchored and I'll be happy to connect with you. And before you go, I have a question I'd love you to think about. What's one part of yourself you like to rediscover in this season of life? Maybe it's something you used to love. Maybe it's something you've always wanted to try. Or maybe you don't know yet, and that's okay too. I love to hear from you because your story matters, and hearing from you helps me create conversations and resources that truly support women navigating midlife. And friend, remember this. You don't have to stay in mission mode forever. Steady is possible. One small step, one gentle choice, one anchored day at a time. Until next time, may Jehovah bless you with peace of your heart, strength for your journey, and quiet confidence to embrace the beautiful woman you are becoming. This is Tracy with Amen and Anchor reminding you, stay anchored in faith, walk in peace, live with purpose. I'll see you next time.